Welcome back everybody to my YouTube channel, and today I have the pleasure to talk to you guys about what are really the basic fundamentals or 3 rule of thumbs that A, never failed me when it came down to losing fat, and 2, why you should never deviate away from these 3 fundamentals, because at the end of the day, it is ultimately all about these 3 fundamentals. Like for example, Kobe Bryant, he focused more on the fundamentals, which was a layup in basketball, a 3-pointer in basketball, you're shooting from the field, you're shooting from the inner perimeter, right? Those were the basic fundamentals, but they were also the boring things to master in the game of basketball. Fat loss, being fit, having abs, or having the best body of your life, or the dream body that you've always wanted, it comes down to these 3 things that I'm going to explain to you guys, okay? If you have any questions, you could reach out to me at Ummy Fit at Instagram, or you could leave a comment below. If you know someone that's struggling for fat loss, I'd love for you to share this with them. No obligation. Hopefully I could provide some value into your guys' life in some way, shape, or form. So without further ado, let's get started, all right? The first thing you need to understand is number 1 on the list is calorie deficit. Calorie deficit in basic layman terms means there's a deficiency of calories going in your body, okay? So when someone says, oh, you're on a calorie deficit, meaning an average human needs to intake about 15 to 2,000 calories a day, all right? If you're having, I'm just using average numbers. Let's say if you're having 1,400 calories, you're on a calorie deficit, versus you're supposed to be having 1,800, so that'd be a deficit of 400 calories that you're not intaking in your body, okay? So number 1 would be calorie deficit. The easiest way to remember the definition of this, simple. You have the less food you eat, food you consume. The less food you consume, okay, the greater the deficit. In other terms, okay, for example, one of the best ways I could describe this to you guys is when people take racing car to the field, okay, a lot of them have actually a quarter tank of gas inside the car. The reason for this is because if they have a full tank of gas, that gas actually weighs them down, and it will slow down their quarter mile time, it will slow down their handling, it will slow down the car in general, all of itself, right? To make a car go fast, it's gotta be, well, A, fast, it's gotta be tuned, it's gotta have light weight to it, because there's no point of you putting a very nice engine in a car, but you're trying to pull a truck. You'll never get the times that you're looking for. So very much the same, your body it adapts very similarly to a car. The less fuel you have in your body, the greater the deficit. Now, no matter what anybody says, okay, the more you eat, so the more you consume equals the greater the amount of calories. Greater the amount of calories, okay? Now, if you're not eating less than what you're supposed to be, for example, if your daily limit is 2,000 calories and you're eating 2,200, just an example, you will not lose weight. That's the bottom line. No matter how you want to look at it, scientifically, you won't lose weight. You need to be in a calorie deficit in order for you to lose fat, okay? Now, if you're in 2,000 calories, example, and you are at 1,800, okay, this will allow you to lose weight or lose fat. Does that make sense? So these are like basic layman terms of looking at what calorie deficit means, okay? Number 2 on the list is high intensity training, often called HIIT, high intensity interval training. Trying to type as fast as I can. There's a gear button at the bottom right of your screen. You could speed it up just to go through this information faster. I don't want to bore you guys, but this is super important to know, okay? High intensity interval training. Very simply put, you getting confused or thinking that you need to build a spaceship and take it to Mars in order for you to lose weight, okay? High intensity training is basically keeping your heart rate at a 60 to 70% fat burning zone, fat burning zone, okay? I'll write that down right. Fat burning zone, all right? Now, you're probably wondering, how do you determine what my fat burning zone is for my heart? I'm gonna explain that to you, okay? Super simple, all right? So you see this right here, MHR stands for maximum heart rate, okay? So there's this number, 220. There's other ways to do it, but this is one of the easier ways to do it, so I'll explain this to you, okay? So you take 220, okay? You minus it by your age. So for example, if you're 30 years old, okay, 220 minus 30, okay, you're gonna minus this by your age, you're gonna get 190, okay? Now, 190 is officially, if you're age 30 years old, 190 is the maximum heart rate that your heart could beat, okay? Now, you're gonna take 190 and you're gonna times it by 0.60. If you wanna take it a little bit more, you could go 0.70. That will equate to your heart burning zone. So I'll take a calculator right here, and I'll show you. So you have 220 minus 30, that's your age. 190 is your heart rate, maximum heart rate. You're gonna take 190 times 0.60. Your fat burning heart rate zone is 114 beats per minute. So right here, you have 114 beats per minute equals 114 B per minute, BPM. Okay, so when you're training or when you're doing cardio, you wanna float anywhere from 110 to 120, okay? If you're keeping your heart rate in between that zone, you're in the fat burning zone. Means your heart is working at a 60% capacity, but it needs fuel to burn. You're not just walking like this and your heart rate is at a steady pace, which is what it is when you're sitting at home or you're laying down, so on and so forth. Okay, so one of the best ways that I've figured out how to track your heart rate, honestly, is you could buy a $200 already right here. Not even 200, you could get them for like $100, okay? A heart rate monitor strap. Okay, now what this is essentially, you wear it around your chest right here, okay, and it'll give you the most accurate beating of your heart than any other wearable tech, such as Fitbit, Samsung Watch, Apple Watch. All those, they go down the drain. This is one of the most accurate ways to get your heart, okay? So I hope that makes sense. That's how you figure out your fat burning zone and your heart rate regarding high intensity interval training. Okay, now last but not least, we're gonna go to the king. And when I often say, steak is the king of all foods because you're literally eating the protein off of another animal and putting it inside of your body. Okay, now you could argue me there's probably better foods out there, but scientifically speaking, we'll just keep it sane. Okay, steak is considered the king of all foods. You know, in life, what is the king of everything? This, Mr. Consistency. And I will put a big square. That's an ugly square, but okay. Guys, I want to be really frank with you, really upfront with you. I know there's a lot of people marketing and telling you that, you know what, buy this program in 30 days, you look like Arnold, okay? Buy this program in 45 days, you're gonna look like John Van Damme, okay? Reality is, guys, okay, if you want real long life lasting change, you're gonna have to go back to this. I'm telling you this, believe me, you don't need a scientific degree. You don't need to build a spaceship from here to go to Mars in order for you to figure this out. Every program that you could possibly think of, if they're even a little bit sought after, I'm telling you, this is the backbone. If you don't understand these three things, fat loss is gonna be a nightmare for you. So the better it is that you study this and you understand this, the better your clarity in your mind will be, and much more your vision will become a lot more clear to you than you looking at everything all at once. Okay? Consistency is everything. Everything. I remember when I was cutting, kid you not, true story, I was on the treadmill, or I was on the cardio, okay? And I was on the cardio, Stepmaster, sorry. I was doing cardio on the Stepmaster so consistently, I had people coming in from the gym and telling me, bro, you're losing weight. You know, you're always here at the gym. You gotta take a break. But it was nobody never came up. I mean, maybe 1 out of 10 people came up like, bro, I see you grinding. Keep it up. Keep up the solid work. You're gonna get there. You're gonna get to your goals. I had one guy out of like all the people that came. I'm not saying anything, but what I'm saying is consistency makes you look scary. 2, better than you are, okay? 3, people give you respect. Consistency is something you cannot buy. Consistency is something is not for sale. Consistency is not on a discount. Consistency comes from internally. So if you don't have consistency in any area of your life, or if you have consistency in one area, in other areas you don't, you're done. No matter what's gonna happen, you're gonna get rattled around like a pinball. So the biggest thing that I could tell you guys is focus on calorie deficit, focus on high intensity interval training, and focus on being consistent. I'm telling you this now, and I'm being very upfront with you guys, very transparent. I have nothing to hide. Hello, I have nothing to hide. Okay, I got nothing underneath this hat, okay? I got nothing underneath this shirt. I got nothing behind this board. This is the magic that you guys have been looking for. And if you don't get this, I'm telling you, you need to get it now. Creating fat loss is just simple diet. It's a diet, but simple habits behind it that after a couple of days, after a couple of weeks, they get boring. And it's the boringness that kills the person that was once consistent, was driven, was motivated, inspired, ready for change, but he didn't like the boring part. This will get boring, but here's the thing. Eventually, the pain will leave you once it's done teaching. Let me repeat that again. The pain will leave you once it's done teaching. So I recommend you study this. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at Ummy Fit and Instagram. I hope I provided some sort of value or something that could help you out wherever you are in the world. I'm wishing you guys the very best in health. Because without health, we are nothing. We are fragile human beings without health. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.